Hello, it's Ileana, and ta-da! It's my final layout using the July-August Quirky Kits. Not to say that I'm bored of the kits whatsoever. I could have carried on scrapping if I'd had twice as much. But it's winter here almost, and this seems a little bit wrong to be hanging on with these layouts. So I want to move on as quick as I can to the next kit, and then the next one when it comes. But anyway, this is the final one, and I've chosen the subject to be my two boys in their Truggs in two different settings. One of them is just outside our front door last summer, not even this summer, last summer, and another one of them last summer upstairs, or around about that time. It's actually two separate occasions altogether. They didn't just have an outdoor splash and then come in for a bath or anything like that, but it's just to kind of show the versatility of these Truggs that we have, which we also use for laundry. You know, they work three ways: outdoors, upstairs in the shower, and for laundry. And this is the one where I do decide to actually use a sketch, which Quirky Kits have kindly provided. Not that I stick religiously to it particularly, but just to get the idea of having four pictures in four corners. You know, I really obviously needed some inspiration to do that with. That happens to me sometimes. I just kind of my mind goes blank when I come to sit and do a layout, and I think it's no shameful thing to pull out what are they called? Sketch every now and again. But I'm keen to put the whole thing up on layers, a bit similarly to the last one really, and to use up some of the last of the cutouts, even the less attractive ones, shall we say, to get their use as best as I can on this layout. I'll be honest, I haven't used anything unattractive on this layout. Just looking at it now in person, it looks glorious. But you know what I mean. Anyway, so last few bits of that beautiful paper from the Feeling Nautical paper, just slipping that underneath one of the photos there, and that chevron piece as well gets its final little place up on the top as a kind of top border for this layout, as well as that spotty Kaisercraft. Now, I think I've told you a few times that I ordered two pieces of that black paper for some reason unbeknownst to me, but I'm getting good use of it, and that's the bubbly side I'm using as a top strip. So that was the Kaisercraft paper, and a few branding strips along the way as well. Just trimming down the pictures so they can fit a bit more snugly in the layout. I suppose this is the part where I can tell you a little bit about why are the boys sitting in Truggs? Don't they have paddling pools, and don't you have a bath? Well, the answer to these questions you have are no. We don't have a garden where we live, and we also don't have a bath. We just have a shower area. But you know, it's an amazing place to live, and I feel very blessed about what we do have, because in the absence of a bath, we actually have these two Truggs, which are like a real treat for the boys. So they can't stand showers. I don't know if any kids like showers actually, but these boys really hate being showered. And we never really had the plan that they would stay in these Truggs. We had, as babies, we had them in little baby baths, and kind of even actually, I remember using a bucket for Elias, like a tiny bucket when he was such a small boy. But his older brother really wanted to be in a bucket as well, so we plonked him in a Trugg like this, and he loved it. And so he would have been a toddler, just 2-year-old, loving his big Trugg, and loving what his little brother was up to. And so actually they've kind of grown with these things, and I suppose there's a bit of a Victorian-esque feel about it. I can imagine, you know, the tin baths by the fire, kind of a treat once a month or whatever they did back in the olden days, who knows. So we're kind of living that out in our London dream nowadays, up in the shower area, which is a lovely double shower, so it's a nice spacious area for them to have a little splash around. And these boys they are in love with water. Any which way they can get it, they will. And so, you know, it was the perfect treat outside our front door. We have a road, but it's not a through road. I mean, I suppose motorbikes could theoretically come powering down there, and once in a while you do hear them, but it's a respectful little neighbourhood actually. We get on really well with our neighbours, and you know, they didn't mind us spilling out into the front there. It was a really beautiful hot day one day back in July 2013, and so it was just the perfect thing to do, to just fill up a couple of tubs and to let that. I think back in those days, just looking at it, we'd have only had one Trug available to us. I think one had broken or something. So Lorenz is sitting in a plastic box, but they were fine. They were happy with their lot really, and you know, we might have looked a bit odd out in the street there, but that's what you do when you don't have a garden, and we were perfectly happy, and the boys were just loving it. So back to scrapbooking and using up the scraps. So of course I've used the Webster's Pages, that flower that came in the kit, in the whole cut apart sheets, and it doesn't perfectly go here, except that well, there is a nice bit of greenery, especially the neighbours opposite who grow this really gorgeous Virginia creeper. Now, of course, that's not a Virginia creeper at all. It's a lovely pink flower I don't know the name of. But it just kind of works for that area. In my mind's eye, I just visually know there is some beauty there. So I've kind of replicated that with an actual cut apart piece. And I think the colour just looks really lovely, punchy and summery. So I've kind of gone with it. And yeah, apologise, I'm not really talking through what I'm sticking down. That was a Notes and Things branding strip, I think, so I'm just using that. That's a kind of pink looking strip for the left hand side. I like to just play around with the colour pink with the boys. Actually, they both really like pink as a colour, even though I suppose it's a bit more synonymous with a girl's favourite colour. The boys are quite happy with pink. And, you know, I don't like things to be too typically a boyish layout all the time. Yes, I do like that as well. And that's my tendency, is to scrap things with kind of boyish themes. But every now and again, when summer's at its height and, you know, everything smells beautiful in the air, I kind of like to emulate that a little bit with floral scrapbooking and boys. So now what am I doing? If you didn't know by now, that's the Kaisercraft branding strip from that Dream Big collection. And that Note to Self piece is also from the same Kaisercraft collection, although obviously a different piece of paper. And I won't actually journal directly on the Note to Self, but I will be tucking in a label that came from the kit, onto which I'll do the journaling, and that will rest on the back of the label, so it's going to tuck in there and I'll just be able to pull that out. You'll see me do that in a moment. And I'm deciding to use the last of those metal clips from Prima Marketing that came in the kit, the anchor, just layering that, tucking that into the bottom, along with the Hello Sailor, which felt quite fitting because of the way that Lorenz is standing in the tub, kind of like ahoy there sort of a thing, and obviously the fact that they're having fun up there in their Truggs on the top left picture, as a lovely way to unwind. And if you'd like to stick around to the end of the layout, you shall see a little clip of how they play in their Trugg, so stay tuned. I'm just going to talk you through some of the elements that were missing and I didn't quite capture in the end before this video rolls out for you, and cuts out, I mean. So there's a few sequins to emulate bubbles at the top. I've kind of stuck those mainly at the top, and there's a few down below, but along with the last of the Prima Say It in crystals, there was a few of those around the layout as well. And I've gone with blue ink spatters as well, just on the top left corner and the bottom right corner, just to give it that final bit of kind of messiness, which I like, as well as a date stamp towards the bottom to show that the bottom picture was the 15th of July 2013. And you'll see me rub on some of the, I think it was the who did those rubbers? Crepe paper. Onto the label at the bottom, which I'm going to tuck in a moment. The pink one there that I'm working on is going to say this happy moment, as well as the words fun and games. And I've hidden the word party just under there by tucking it in. And I'll also be well, I picked the wrong month when I came to do the rub-ons, so I've covered that with some wording that says laugh louder, smile bigger, love longer, and I think that will ground it quite nicely anyway, even though it does cover over all of that chevron branding strip. And I've just gone with a little Teresa Collins sticker to cover over a bit of an unsightly label on the outside of that tub, and it just says hello, so it's quite nice. It looks like he's saying hello there in the picture, so it all kind of works for me. Yep. I don't think there's an awful lot left to tell you, really. I think I've inked I've just drawn a line around the photo corners that I created with the polka dot pieces there from the backside of the yellow tickets paper, as you'll see in the final stills. So I'm just going to read to you the journaling that I end up writing on the back of that hello label, and it says, "We don't have a bath at home, which is possibly one reason that water play is all the more fun. These repurposed laundry trugs were just the ticket on a hot day." And I just wanted to say the final title for this layout is This Life, kind of in brackets, I suppose, repurposed Truggs, but I haven't written that anywhere. It's just my note to self of how I save it on the computer. But This Life, yeah, it came in with the rub-ons, and it captures it perfectly for me, really, because it is ordinary everyday life that we've made all the more fun by the way we live it, really, and making the most of what we have. As you can see, I'm just popping up the edges with some dimensional squares to help them kind of lift and give a bit more 3D effect to the layers, if you like. And again, with that same foam, I'm also backing the flare badge, which states the word adventure, and it's got a little hot air balloon on it. Doesn't have any bearing on this page particularly, but I thought it looked nice there, and it gets the kit used. Going with these rub-ons now. And so I think I might have mentioned before, on that ticket I rub on the words this happy moment, and then I'm looking for the month that might represent this bottom picture, and unfortunately I've selected the wrong one. I've gone with August, and then I recheck it on the back of the rubber stamp, because I set the date on that rubber stamp after having looked at the back of the photo, just to make sure I would have it ready. And I've checked it, and it was actually the 15th of July, not August, so I've rubbed over the whole of that and disguised it quite carefully. And just wrapping up before the film cuts out here. Stay tuned for the stills, of course, and for a little clip of the boys taken a few weeks ago. And just want to say thanks so much for watching. See you again soon. Bye for now.